like you to stand because one of our co-hosts today, Samantha, then we also have Abel Gomez, our Executive Director with the Special Improvement District for Downtown Plainfield, which should I say? Okay. So thank you all for being here. The purpose of today, we really want to talk about what resources we have for our business community. Whether we're talking about our large developers that own the majority of the property in Plainfield, whether we're talking about our medium-sized businesses, or if you're looking to open a restaurant, a commercial, a retail business, looking to move forward with the services or with workforce development. We are very fortunate to have with us a number of other sponsors that provide resources. What you're going to see around the room today, we have a number of our agencies, whether we're talking about the State Economic Development Administration, we have the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, we have Union County Economic Development Corporation, as well as the Greater New York Alliance over there. So we hope you take advantage of the resources that we have out here, because what we're looking to do with our Plainfield community is that we want to continue growing our thriving community. So what do we need to do that? So we're going to be talking about today developers that have chosen to partner with Plainfield to invest in Plainfield, whether we're talking about our mixed-use development, our restaurant community, whether we're talking about our commercial and industrial. We're going to hear about some of our recreation spaces that we have to come. Other investments in single-family and two-family homes. Then we're going to hear from our agencies, because our partnerships with our agencies, they provide some of the grants, some of the technical assistance that's really going to get a business off the ground. Then we're going to hear from our small business developers, whether you're talking about someone that owns a hair salon, for example, whether we're looking at a baker that has managed to own or open several locations around Plainfield. We're also going to hear about some of our larger franchises. Golden Crust, we're very happy to have you here in Plainfield. And then you're going to be able to walk around, talk to each other, network, ask questions of us, and hear more. So first, to introduce us or get us started with some of the opening remarks, we are going to hear from the man with a vision to transform Plainfield, the Honorable Adrian O'Malley.
Well, good morning and welcome. I am so happy to see all of you in the room here this morning. Here in Plainfield, we are about business. And we are about making sure that we provide all of our businesses with the resources that they need to succeed. We want to make sure that you see Plainfield as a very vibrant place for you to have your businesses. And you do that with the knowledge that you're going to receive the support from my administration, which is here to work with each and every business that is in our city. But not only that, the partnerships that we have with state agencies, the county, you heard that the New York Alliance is here also. But these partnerships are so critically important, because by having these partnerships, it means that we have access to resources that we could connect you to. And so that is one of the reasons why we have been successful here in Plainfield in transforming the landscape of our city and in bringing businesses into our community. Whether we're talking about the real estate developers, whether we're talking about our small businesses that are on Front Street and other parts of our city, it's about making sure that the environment is such that the businesses here will thrive and succeed. And so we are open for business. I pride myself in making sure that we have people in place to help our businesses to move forward. And so that is why we are here, to connect you with resources and to make sure that you understand that my administration, the City of Plainfield, is here to work with each and every one of you. And so these are exciting times in Plainfield. The investments that have been made in our city is a demonstration of the confidence that investors have in our city. And so I want you to know that City Hall, the doors are open. Everyone in my administration is available to work with each and every one of you to make sure that you succeed. And so I want to thank the state agencies that are here, the county, New York Alliance, and all of you for being here this morning to be a part of this. Thank you. May God bless you. May you continue to succeed in your businesses. Thank you.
You all have to wait for the height adjustment. All right. So just to thank some of our sponsors, I just want to make sure that we identify you, get to go visit them today. So definitely we want to thank the New Jersey Economic Development Administration, Downtown Plainfield as one of our sponsors, Rutgers Business located over there, Correction, Greater New York Enterprise Corporation located over there. We also have the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. One of our local business owners, where we know that wellness is important to your quality of life, Dr. Matu, who does amazing business over on Watch on the corner of Watch on in East Front Street. Also, Banq, we thank you, as well as, last but not least, the Union County Economic Development Corporation, resources for small business located up there. So while I finish my thank yous, I'm going to ask the developers if you all could come and join me on stage for us to get to our next panel. And you're looking at me, but please come and join me on stage. So I would also like to thank some of our team members, because I cannot do this alone. I want to recognize first Drew Dolman, who took the lead in putting this together. Stand up, Drew. Go ahead. Our manager of economic development. We also have several of our team members back there, Tyler Council, Deandra Manning, and also Kelvin Fennell back there. So thank you, we don't do it alone. And last but not least, I didn't mean to miss one of the best assistant I could have. I didn't know what I was missing, Keena. Please, all right, so with the developer community, I'm just going to ask you all, if you all could introduce yourself, your organization, and just tell us a little bit about what you do in Plainfield. Starting with Yvette, of course.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Yvette Homer. The company is BY Management. It was started by my father in the early 80s. He came into Plainfield and began investing in different properties. He saw the opportunity here very early on, and I've kind of taken over and started to lead us in a different direction of development. So I have an exciting new project on North Avenue that I'm very excited about. It's 17 units and 1 retail space.
Good morning, I'm Patrick Turwer, TD Plus Partners. We're primarily a mixed-use real estate developer, and we focus on affordable housing, some market rate housing, different asset classes. We've done educational uses, school, industrial buildings, childcare centers. We're very bullish on Plainfield. We love developing the city of Plainfield, and our main initiative now is to become a net zero developer, so that's something we're very focused on. And we're happy to be here in Plainfield under the leadership of Adrian. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Richard Dunn. I'm the Senior Vice President for Paramount Assets. Paramount Assets has been in the city of Plainfield for over 40 years. We started developing and acquiring properties in this great city back in 1984. And we've seen this city come full circle in the last 12 years under the stewardship of Mayor Mapp and his administration. We have a tremendous amount of real estate holdings here in the great city, the Queen City as we call it, and we are the largest private landowner here in the city. When you walk down East Front Street between Church and Parq, 70% of the buildings that are there are owned and operated by Paramount. And we take pride in this city. We believe in the Queen City. We believe in the administration because they believe in those partnerships that are everlasting and that work for the community as a whole. Some of our notable projects that we are in the process of doing, we have a project touring the city right now on the corner of Watchung and East 4th Street at the train station. That's going to be a 65-unit, 4-story building. And the synergy between us and the administration and the town is terrific. And I'm hoping more to come. But again, I'm always here to help. I'm here to guide and to work with anyone who wants to get themselves into real estate development because it is a critical aspect for the urban centers. And urban centers deserve the investment. And when you have a mayor like Mayor Matt who believes in that, great things can occur.
Thank you, Rich. So one of the things that we have up right now, we have the Netherwood Flats and we have Frontier Flats. I like different things about Netherwood Flats because one, Netherwood Flats, you're right by one of our train stations and really investing and balancing out the commercial there. I'm glad that you added a little dog and gloomy place there because I have a dog, Rich. But what I like about Frontier Flats is that it's right in the middle of our downtown. And with our downtown, we're working with the Boys and Girls Club as well. And you have a lot of things with adaptive reuse. And you've also taken advantage in downtown of our Sign and Facade grant program with the Urban Enterprise Zone. Could you talk a little bit about what attracted you to Plainfield?
So like I had mentioned earlier, we've been here since 1984. Solomon Levy, who is the owner of Paramount, found an opportunity here back in Plainfield. However, those opportunities did not grow until the mid-2012 timeframe. And once we got to that point, we accelerated our investment and development here. What gets us excited about the city is that its history, its long history of being part of the Jersey narrative. Everyone knows the Queen City, and now we want to continue investing here because we know that there's a renaissance that's going on. The renaissance is based upon the collective work between the municipality and the private operator, Paramount Assets. And I'm sure, and I know for certain, that others in the city have benefited with a good relationship. Netherwood Flats was a ground-up construction that we did. We started in 2019, and it was a project that took 3-4 years to get completed, but we did. It's in a great location, North Avenue, South Avenue corridor, and quite honestly, over the last 8 years, under Mayor Mapp's stewardship, Valerie Jackson, and then Zenobia Fields, that industrial area of the town has really elevated, has come a long way. But to answer Zenobia's question, we like it here because there is cooperation, there is synergy, there is a sense of a private and public and private relationship, which goes a long way to benefiting the city.
And Yvette, one of the things that I like about one project that you have going, it's over by North Avenue. It's right across from the Plainfield train station. Again, it's in one of our historic districts. You've created a new development that's going to fit into the context, but it offers at least, I believe, 17 more units and about 1,700 square feet of retail space that's available. So what attracted you to Plainfield? Because your family has a long history in Plainfield.
Yeah, so I was literally born in Muhlenberg Hospital, and thank you. And I have been a community member in Plainfield for my entire life, so I've really seen the trajectory of the city. And I started working for my family business in about 2010. So at that point, I'm coming in with a master's in planning and looking kind of at real estate investment and development with what I like to think of as a different perspective. My dad may argue otherwise. But so I like to think that I'm looking at it from a planning perspective, but also from an investment perspective. So for me, of course, transit-oriented development is very important, present day and into the future. So being that this vacant lot was directly across the street from the train station was very interesting to me. I found that to be attractive, and I even remember a time, to be honest with you, when I was little, and driving down Washington Avenue with my mom. I remember the building that was on this lot prior. And it always stood out to me because it was graffitied. And yeah, I remember exactly what it said. In my mind it said "Rip Eddie," but I was too little to understand that. It was rest in peace. So that building always stood out to me. And it was really a sight of light. So it was so exciting for me and the building was actually torn down, and I was working at my dad's office. I remember when the building, there was an emergency demolition of the building because it was completely dilapidated and falling apart. Of course, present day, it's a vacant lot, so I'm really excited to take this kind of full circle moment to take something that was really light in the community and turn it into something positive that's really going to kick off the pedestrian mall and be a great addition to Plainfield.
Okay, well, speaking of the pedestrian mall, it's like the person sitting next to you. So Patrick, you have a number of projects that you've done in Plainfield, including one that's right by the pedestrian mall. You're doing the picture that's on the bottom in the center. That's going to be the transit station that's right by lot 6, a little over 100 units. He's bringing us deltas. He's bringing us rooftop elements and his community benefit. We're also going to see the construction of the pedestrian wall. And what you're seeing in the lower right-hand corner is a mural by one of our artists, Alonzo Adams, as well as a digital information board that's going to be there. So Patrick, you have a number of efforts in Plainfield, and we definitely appreciate the partnership. But what initially attracted you to Plainfield?
Great question. So I lived in Plainfield back in, I think, the late 90s, early 2000. And I was a resident here who was really frustrated with the lack of progress. I felt that Plainfield was a diamond in the rough, and it had these tremendous assets. The people are amazing, the housing stock is amazing. And I also thought it was really great that you probably had one of the highest concentration of African American homeownership in the city of Plainfield. But we suffered from a lack of leadership. So I became a real estate developer, sort of by virtue of just being involved in the community and wanted to see some type of positive change. And I started development outside of Plainfield. We did some major projects in Irvington and East Orange. When Mayor Mapp became mayor, we felt that we finally had someone that we could actually have a dialogue with, and somebody who had the experience, the administrative management experience, the political leadership, the ability to really take a city that had a very negative bond rating, a place where banks didn't want to do business, did not want to lend money to developers. You can't do a development project without bank funding, and financial institutions are very risk averse, and Plainfield was not a great place. So the enticement for us was Adrian Mack came into office, and he was very process oriented, and he had discussions with people like myself and Richard and others about what is a good process for development, and how do we get through the development process in a way that that is attractive to a developer who has options to develop somewhere else, and also to the financial institutions. And so they put a process in place that was one that you could be an outsider as a developer trying to do business in Plainfield, and you had access to the same process that Richard and Yvette and I have as people who are very experienced here. So the impetus for being here was primarily driven by leadership. And I think that leadership also resulted in home values doubling in the city of Plainfield. We did some of the most difficult projects here. The first project we did was on South 2nd Street, and it was a brownfield site. NGRA was instrumental in that project as well. And we ended up building a 44,000 square foot warehouse and 90 units of affordable housing. And none of that would have been possible without the leadership. Leadership is extremely important in development. And you can have all the money in the world and the access to it, but if you can't get through a city administration process or a planning board process, you're dead on arrival. So, to be blunt, I'm here because Adrian Mapp is here.
We have one other developer here that partners with Patrick, Ricardo Sosa of Gone Sosa. But Patrick, you mentioned about the partnership. So one of the things that I'm excited about is what we've been able to do with the public-private partnership, particularly when all of you have helped us with mixed-use development, but now looking to balance our housing stock and make sure that there's options out there, whether you're looking for townhomes, whether you're looking for single-family or two-family homes. Can you talk about the public-private partnerships that we're doing with some of our undersized lots?
Yeah, sure. So another great example, I think, of good leadership from economic development to the administration. We had to sit down with Zenobia and the mayor, and they talked about the fact that they had these undersized lots that haven't had a building on them for over 100 years. And then the city working with the Schrain Group, I believe is your on-site planner, right? Literally put together a plan starting probably back in August, maybe August, September. They initiated a study, and then the planning board approved a redevelopment plan for scattered sites that included 7 of these undersized lots. And we came in with a proposal to build 7 brand new homes on those lots that are going to be about 2,200 square feet to about 2,600 square feet. And with that partnership with the city, we're able to deliver those homes below what would be typical market for a brand new single-family home. One of them is a 2-family, and we were designated, our construction docs are almost completed, and we'll have to go through that review process with the city and break ground on these 7 homes, and then we'll expand it to doing townhomes development as well. So my JV partner, Ricardo Sosa, has developed probably about 80 plus single-family homes in Newark, luxury homes around the area, the Watchung area, and he's done about probably 10 different properties in the city of Plainfield. They're all single-family homes. So this kind of adds to our reach, where we've always wanted to be developers that are more community-focused, and we're building different types of assets. And I think the Transit Park is another example of that, being able to partner with the city on development of a pedestrian park. So we're looking forward to these types of ventures. There's also a dog park that's going to be part of that development. So there's going to be a dog park on South 2nd Street and the Triangle. And I forgot that street it turns out. Is it 3rd or something, or Spooner?
It might be, it's not Spooner, but I think it's
Millinder. Just behind SSYC.
So, Rich, you can choose to expand on that question, but I've noticed you've leveraged some of the incentives that the city has for your development, and particularly with downtown. Can you talk a little bit about how you've leveraged those incentives?
So I can. There we go. So I can tell you unequivocally that the administration has worked hand in hand with the development community to ensure that they kept development alive in Plainfield, which is very, very important, especially during a downturn in economic times. And, you know, one thing that developers do seek, which is a great incentive, is a tax abatement, which helps them finance the project over its longevity. And I can tell you with much certainty, Mayor Mapp and his administration understands that there has to be that cooperative way to ensure that new developments and renovations of properties occur. So when there's incentives like that, it entices developers like Paramount and like Patrick and Yvette to come out and to do what's necessary for the community. People get upset, well, they're getting a long-term tax abatement. But that is so important to be able to fill the gap sometimes, to make it more palatable, to make the project affordable for the developer and to be able to finance it. So the ability for a developer or any business to come in and work with the administration and find avenues for incentives is critical. And Mayor Mapp, in his abilities as a finance director, being with the City of Orange and then with the Finance Board, he understood that, and he leveraged his abilities and his knowledge to draw people in like Paramount and others who are going to make these substantial investments. And I can tell you that Paramount has another roughly $100 million worth of development work that we're planning to do in this great city based upon his vision, based upon his understanding that the municipality has to provide that incentive. We are in the process of hopefully breaking ground within the next 6 months over at East 4th and Watchung, right next to the train station. That whole corner where the Latin Heat is, and the automotive body, the automotive shops, that's all going to be coming down. And that's going to be a 65-unit, 5-story building at the train station. That's going to be the groundbreaking. That's going to shatter everything in that area of the Arts and Education District because there's nothing going on there right now. Yes, the Center of Excellence will be coming hopefully real soon, but to have a new development right in that corner is going to be a telltale. That's going to be adding rocket fuel to that area around City Hall. And if it wasn't for the incentives right now, especially with interest rates being so high, it's hard for us to make our performer to work. So with working with the city, we're in the process of negotiating that right now where we're looking for that tax abatement that's going to help us drive that investment. Also in the same area between East 5th, East 4th, Parq, and Cleveland, we own 2.5 acres of developable space right there, which is right diagonally across from the train station. And we have been working with the mayor to promote and to bring his vision of a performing arts center in the city of Plainfield. And that is such a great location because you have the transit hub, you have the connection, and we're working now with the mayor as our next step and next large-scale development in the city. But incentives are very, very important because there's 600 plus municipalities out there, and they're all looking for investment. They're looking for real estate investment, real estate development. So if a municipality doesn't cooperate and give you that incentive, you can go right down the street to the next municipality. But here, gratefully, the mayor and his administration understand the partnerships which drive and incentives are part of what's making Plainfield unbelievably viable and rich and desirable. And I'm pleased that we're part of it.
That you wear multiple hats because you are the vice chair of downtown Plainfield. You work with a number of our small business owners. You're currently undertaking new development yourself. how can small business owners or entrepreneurs take advantage of some of the new development that's happening in Plainfield?
Thank you for that question. So I think that it's important, like you mentioned, I'm the vice president of the Plainfield Special Improvement District, or downtown Plainfield. And I think it's a great resource for small businesses to kind of tap into. Our executive director, Abel, is here today. And it's a great resource for small businesses to get more information about the different kind of programming that there is out there for small businesses. For example, Plainfield has a great sign and facade grant that I don't think enough people take advantage of. I know Queen City Roasters is a great example of that. They took advantage of the sign and facade grant. They have a beautiful space that's stunning and it's very attractive to people when they drive by. Also, Able's a great resource for the different programming, like via NJEDA, for example, or the NJRF. There's a lot of great programming, and just like in development, small business, can be very risky, right? So you want to do whatever you can to help offset that risk and take advantages of the different programs. Like I know NJEDA, I always really champion this program, has a lease-up program that not enough people take advantage of. So the NJEDA will pay a portion of your rent, which is huge. So I think that there's a lot of great resources out there that really need to get tapped into a little bit more.
What bit of advice would you give to, and this is going to be for all the developers, for a developer just getting started in Plainfield? Where would you say they should start in terms of financing, zoning, partnerships?
Well, I think starting with you is a great place. Having a meeting with you to maybe explain what your vision is, what you want to bring to Plainfield, and to learn more about, what Plainfield's master plan is looking like, what you guys want in particular zones, what you're interested in. And also, something that I think I always champion when it comes to real estate development is that you need to know your city, you need to know your town, you need to know the people that are living there to be able to plan effectively. So I think walking the streets, visiting the businesses, going into different restaurants, knowing the people who live here and what they want to come into the city is also really important.
Before Patrick goes, I'm going to do a shameless plug because Yvette just mentioned a lot. At our table in the back, we're currently doing a survey for our urban enterprise zone, where we're trying to get input on what type of programming you would like to see in the city. So we have QR codes in the back. Max is holding it up, but you're able to scan that whether you're a business owner or a resident. And tell us, are you looking for more sign and facade programs? Are you looking for more small business assistance? Are you looking for workforce development? Things that we're looking at just getting around Plainfield, looking at a shuttle program. Are you looking for investment in electric infrastructure? We would like to hear from you. So if you know someone that's not here that hasn't done the survey, please ask them to do so. Question.
I think Yvette said just about everything that needed to be said, so I co-sign everything you said. I think the other thing would be, it's very important to talk to Zenobia because even if you're a starting out developer, she has done it. She's likely to reach out to one of us at some point and say, would you mind talking to this person about the development process, because it can be very complicated. It's a lot of different moving parts. And you just need to have a significant amount of perseverance to do it, in addition to everything that Yvette said.
So if you're an aspiring developer, one thing you need to know is your landscape. You need to know where you want to focus on. It's very, very important. Also, you need to be able to network. You need to be able to go to functions like this. You need to mingle. You need to know people. You need to explain what your vision is, and people are very helpful here in Plainfield. They will help you, they will guide you. You know, Zenobia is terrific, Max is great, Drew is great. Everyone in the city that I've dealt with are unbelievably helpful. And that's what you're looking for in a place where you want to develop. You want the guidance, you want the direction, and they're friendly about it, and they're going to help you. And that is the most critical recommendation I can give you, is become part of that city. Understand what's going on there. Understand what you can do, and be part of the community, because it's going to help you, give you the guidance. So my recommendation is to immerse yourself in the city, specifically here in Plainfield. Plainfield has a lot to offer. Go to all the events, speak with people, and like I said, everyone that I've dealt with over my 20 years coming to the city, and specifically the last 12, have been extremely helpful, and they've given me a lot of guidance on how to get things done. And together with private and public together, working in unison, it's unstoppable. And that's what I wish that more communities would realize, that we need each other to be able to give back to the residents and the community.
So looking in the crystal ball, or it's not necessarily a crystal ball, because a 5 to 10 year horizon is very realistic, and really seeing the transformation in Plainfield. Can you describe what you envision for Plainfield over the next 5 to 10 years, and what you're most excited about? So we'll go back down the line with Rich.
So Plainfield, there's a lot of exciting things that have happened here, and the future is extremely bright. I mean, I deal with 22 other municipalities in the state of New Jersey. We're in the majority of the urban centers. I'm in Newark, I'm in Orange, I'm in East Orange, I'm in Perth Amboy, I'm in Elizabeth, and on and on and on. And I can tell you unequivocally that the future here in Plainfield is extremely bright under the steward of Mayor Matt, for the simple fact he understands that real estate development is critical to building the foundation of economic survivability. He understands that it's important, and what the future offers is that there are so many other projects that are on the horizon. The city has a lot of undeveloped space still along South Avenue and North Avenue. And there's a lot of older buildings that can be adaptively reused and turned into a jewel. Adaptive reuse of structures is critical, because you don't want to tear down the historical structures in the city. You want to preserve them because they're part of they're part of you, they're part of the fabric of the community. So we believe in that essence of restoration and adaptively reusing. The city is moving in the right direction. We're in the midst of a renaissance, but we need to continue pushing forward. In the next 5, 10 years, I envision most of the industrial lots along South and North Avenue being developed, because you want to bring people in. You need that base. That's moving forward, and plus the future on Watchung around City Hall and the Arts and Education District is terrific. It's unbelievable. So I see in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a lot more development on North Avenue and South Avenue. You see it going on now, and in 10 years, the mayor's vision of a performing arts and a new vibrant community between East 4th, East 5th, East 6th, Watchung and Parq is going to happen. And that's the next step that the city is going towards. So in 5 years, I have a crystal ball. I can tell you that that area right around the train station, downtown, is going to be the guiding light. It's going to be the jewel of the city.
So I think the future is very dependent on leadership, and I believe a lot will happen in Plainfield over the next 5 to 10 years. But you have to have the right leadership. So if there isn't a continuation of a similar caliber of leadership, I don't see that bright future. I'm saying that based on experience. Richard and I are both familiar with a specific town that we will mention, had a mayor, and for the last 8 years they've had a change in leadership. The person is a nice person, but there's been no real development, right? Because you need an incredibly rich rich combination of somebody who has great financial skill sets, great leadership ability, the ability to have his or her ego checked, and you can hire amazing people to work for you, right, and collaborate with you. Build a great process that gets us through a planning process in like, you know, if we talk to you and then we can get to construction docs in 6 months or 7 months, that's amazing, as opposed to, in some places, it's taken us years with nice people. So my interest is not in a nice person. I need a highly competent person to be in the city, and then we can talk about the future. So if you have that leadership in place, and it continues, then I see a future at Plainfield where this city becomes the best city in the state of New Jersey because it has the bones to do so, and it has developers here who want to be here. I see transforming into a rich arts and culture environment. I see like a mini Wynwood, to be honest. I also see a greater collaboration between developers like myself and Yvette and Richard with small businesses and businesses that want to occupy space in our development. I see, for example, Delta's Restaurant, which is going to be coming as part of our development. None of those things are going to happen if you don't have good leadership. So I do see a bright future, but that future could be very interrupted if you don't have the right leadership, as it has happened in other cities.
I echo the same sentiments as Patrick. I think that leadership is very important. And I was doing business in Plainfield before Mayor Banq was in office, and I can tell you it was a completely different place to do business. And I'm looking forward to the future, next 5 to 10 years, of increasing the density downtown. I think it's really important to increase the density to support small businesses, because small businesses aren't going to thrive without increased density and walkability. For the people to just, you know, fall out of bed and go downstairs and get a bagel and coffee, right? So that supports the small businesses while also supporting the quality of life downtown. So I see the quality of life improving. I see, you know, the work, live, play. It's kind of, you know, a tired thing to say, but it is true. You want to live. I think the benefit of living in an urban area is having that convenience, having that walkability, having the restaurant that you can go to and everyone knows your name, or going down the street and having a nice drink with your friends. So I see that improving. I see more arts coming to the city, having the city be more of a point of destination for young people, which I think, you know, over the last couple of years, especially with COVID, there's been a lot of people migrating from New York City, Manhattan, Hoboken, Brooklyn, and a lot of people have bought up properties, like let's say in Sleepy Hollow, for example. You know, maybe they're in their 30s, but they still want a place to go out and have a good time and have a drink with friends and maybe karaoke. I don't know where that came from, but that's the first thing that popped into my mind. So I see Plainfield as being a destination for that, because it's a nice mix of suburban, but also with our nice urban downtown.
Any questions for our developers? Yes, can I ask someone? So it's coming up.
Thank you very much. Hi everyone, my name is Shania Suazo. I actually graduated from Plainfield High School in 2011, so and we're moving back here in about a week actually. So Plainfield is very near and dear to my heart. And one of the questions that I have for you all is, I know as a local real estate agent, one of the main issues that a lot of us are facing is the affordability of single-family homes, right? And I've heard so much talk about, you know, the development that you guys are doing in the city of Plainfield, and I'm sure you know where my question is going. All of the hundreds of units that we have in plan to develop 2 to 7 single-family homes that I heard about, just curious, what incentive, I guess, would be needed, or where would, you know, what can be done for the residents of Plainfield that are yearning and wanting to reach that dream of home ownership, and And one of the issues is affordability, which is driven by lack of inventory. So can you talk a little bit about that?
May I start and then I'll go to Patrick? So one of the things that the city of Plainfield, and working with Patrick as well as Ricardo Sosa of Gon Sosa, is that we've looked at some of our undersized lots. And looking at our undersized lots, we've rezoned them that would allow for those starter homes, whether you're talking about the 6 single-family homes that Patrick and Ricardo have designed, or a 2-family home. And you're seeing the designs of all of those up front. In terms of incentives, not only for the developer, but also because developers are such a good partner, they are investing in, instead of a community benefit that comes to the city, that community benefit is going to be passed on to the first-time home buyer in a down payment assistance fund. So they're going to be depositing in a down payment assistance fund for each of those properties, $30,000. So for each Plainfield residence, they'll have access to $30,000 for down payment assistance. That's enough if you're a first-time home buyer, because we know with HMFA, I'm sure EDA can explain this, and also DCA, you're looking at 3.5% in terms of down payment. And that does cover the cost of these affordable homes, but I'll let Patrick fill in.
So I think that to address the issue of affordability with new single-family homes, Zenobia's already devised a program, if you will. So we have the down payment assistance as a part of it. I think you've looked at potentially doing a tax abatement, because there is a significant cost, right? And that properties are usually valued based on their market value. And the city has really spent a lot of time thinking about how to make sure that this particular pilot comes out really well, to ensure that Plainfield residents have a first go at being able to acquire those homes. And then they've also earmarked a couple of sites where we can actually build new townhouses in Plainfield. So those things are happening, and I think that's going to help to some extent, right? Plainfield is a victim of its own success in many ways, right? When I think Adrian Mapp came into office, I was living there. The house I lived in was, I think I bought it for like $250 in 2001 or something like that. It's probably worth about $700,000, $800,000 today. So we're going to continue to work with the city, and you have a really innovative economic development director, Zenobia, and we'll try to figure it out, and she has a good relationship with other developers. So one of the sites is even like a swamp, right, where we're going to be able to develop these townhouses. So I encourage you to just continue to have a dialogue with them, and they're sort of driving the bus, and we're following along.
Good morning. My name is Lorna Brissett, and I'm a small business owner in Plainfield. Just moved in Plainfield maybe around a year and a half ago. I have a Golden Cross restaurant in Plainfield. I have one in Union and I have one in Newark, and besides me are my two managers from Union and Plainfield. And my question is, I want to grow the business. I'm so impressed with Plainfield. I remember years ago, people don't even want to drive through Plainfield. And now one of the management of Mapp is that it's just a brand new, I reminded myself of Harlem when people didn't want to go through Harlem. And now you can't afford to buy a home in Harlem because it's not developed. I want to grow my business, but to be honest, I'm so afraid of the contractors. To work with a contractor to build out a restaurant. Because by the time you're done, you pay the contractor for 10 years or work that has to be done. Are you guys open to work with small individual like myself who wants to grow and put an additional restaurant in place?
So I can tell you that Paramount Assets, prospect tenants, we're willing to lay the money out for you. We're willing to allow you to amortize that back through the lease so that we can give you some financing to get your business up. We also offer turnkey situations where you have your vision, you'll sit with our professionals, and we will do it for you. So these are the things that we, Paramount, offer small businesses, because sometimes they get themselves so involved with their own business plan, get involved with getting their business started, they don't have time to worry about the retail space. So we offer that, and it's been very valuable for one of our tenants on East Front Street, because they didn't have the knowledge or the know-how to do it, and they engaged us. We have our own development company, we have our own staff of construction professionals, and that's something which a lot of developers may offer, but we do that. So if you're looking to expand, I hear you're in Newark. Newark is one of our homes as well. We're big in Newark, Plainfield, Perth Amboy, and Orange. And we extend ourselves to residents or business owners who are looking to move into our properties where we offer those services. And it takes a little bit of the onus and the pressure off the new business owner that we offer those services. So there are developers out there and real estate companies that are willing to do that, and we are one. So if you're looking to expand in Plainfield or somewhere else, come see me and we'll be more than happy to help you with that.
I'm sorry, I was just going to piggyback. I was just going to say that we also often do build-outs for our tenants. And you're a small business, I'm a small business too. So I totally get it. And so I always want to work with whatever perspectives come in to our buildings, or whatever prospective tenants come into our buildings. Because if you're successful, then I'm successful. And that's pretty much my motto in business when it comes to renting space. And I know, like I said before, there's a lot of great programming out there that I really think is underutilized. So, look into programs that the NJEDA offers to really help, kick off a new location for you. It is a relatively easy process, and I know that there are, NJEDA staff members that would be happy to help you to start a new location.
Yeah, so to follow up on Yvette and Richard, so I've always been a huge proponent of a business owner not developing the space themselves, right? And because of some of the reasons you mentioned. And so if Richard is overseeing construction, or Yvette and her team are overseeing construction in the space, we're gonna get it done the right way, faster is something that we do, right? And then for me, I just want to deal with business owners who have proof of concept like you do, right? And we are willing to fully build out a space and have you move into it with really no money out of pocket, because it's sort of like renting an apartment, right, Richard? It's less important that a person is giving you a deposit in cash. As a matter of fact, you don't want a deposit in cash. You want to know that a person is a good credit risk. So I want you to be able to keep your money and use it for working capital, which really allows that business to thrive, as opposed to you having to invest $500,000–600,000 into the build out, when, to be honest, it's easy for us to add $1 million in build out to a $50 million loan. It's de minimis for us. We just did something like that in a project that we did in East Orange. We literally built out a space. It cost us $600,000–700,000, and they moved in. The ABC Supply building, we have no security deposit from them, and we built out a space for about $9 million. But they were at credit risk, right? And they just walked in, and that's what big businesses do. They don't actually build out space. They get people like us to build space out, and then they lease it. And I think that that's something that business owners should really think carefully about. There's this emphasis quite often on owning your space, when in fact what you're really good at is that business, right? And you should probably lease, because large corporations, if they were, I don't think they're stupid, 99% of the times they're leasing space.
Hi, my name is Michelle Boone, and I'm a small developer in Plainfield. I just completed a project But I want to say something to the young lady that brought up affordable housing. I was recently awarded a couple of lots in Newark, and it's a difficult process. I appreciate Plainfield building the Economic Development Corporation, you know. So my question is, the single families, could they be de-restricted? Because I'm working on a project in Newark for a 3-family, and it's going to be affordable to sell, and it's obtainable. You know, they go by the income requirements. So are any of these houses going to be actually de-restricted, or are they going to just be market rate?
Absolutely, these are de-restricted. So what the developer has allowed us to do is that work through a financial agreement that's going to be profitable for them. But we have a deed restriction on income as well as the sales price of the home. So there's a deed restricted on income. We are looking in the workforce development range that you have a 2-family income coming in. We are looking at these houses. I mean, look at that house right there. That is the 2-family home that's going to be built. It's over 3,000 square feet. They're not allowed to sell that house for more than $650,000. The deed restriction is also to pass on a tax abatement to the property owner. So the tax abatement, they will get a 10-year tax abatement. It won't be a complete zero taxes, but it'll be a certain percentage of the price, which could be up to half what normal conventional taxes would be. So these are definitely deed restricted homes.
What program are you using to get your funds?
So, and Patrick, you can chime in. I just want to let them know that this is not necessarily a HMFA right now, but we are looking at workforce and what we can do as a city to make these affordable. But Patrick does have experience using HMFA funding. Patrick.
Yeah, so these are all conventional. So this is a classic case of a public-private partnership between us and the city. The city making the lots available on the undersize really helped. We have no state subsidies in this. It's really just a tax amendment that's going to assist the end borrower, right? The end buyer of the property is getting the benefit of it. So it's not, the capital stack is not a subsidy program. We would look to subsidy programs in the future. I think the state needs to do a better job of making that available and available faster. I wish Plainfield was running such a program because we would get things done.
So what I would say is that what the mayor has partnerships with the Department of Community Affairs, with the Housing Mortgage Finance Agency, and we get an opportunity to have a conversation about what we're interested in. So the executive director of HMFA, I've described this project and asked, is there a possibility that we can subsidize this with HMFA mortgages? So right now, we are looking at how we do it conventionally, but there's an opportunity for a future partnership with HMFA and looking at the mortgages to be subsidized. So if you as a smaller developer, you see a plot of land that you want to develop as affordable, please come talk to me about it and we'll see what we can do. But definitely Patrick and Ricardo are proof of concept that it can happen. I know that Richard, he's worked with us as well, where we have some workforce affordable units that are available. We have anywhere from 10% to 100% affordable. So 100% affordable units where they are subsidized by Aspire funding, low income housing tax credit, and new market tax credit. So we are opting in as a city too. If you're looking for a building where with clean infrastructure, meaning solar panels, clean energy, we have opted into an EDA program that definitely supports that financing. So there are opportunities out there, and we always look forward to talking to you about it. So we are at time, but please give a round of applause to our developers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Banq, and I am the owner of fromHERE. Thank you so much on behalf of the city for having us here today. I am going to now take the conversation that we just had around real estate and redevelopment and bring it to the next layer, which are the actual business owners. I wasn't necessarily born in the city of Plainfield, but this is the birthplace of my entrepreneurial journey. I have the pleasure of having opened my first business here in downtown Plainfield on Watchung Avenue between 2nd Street and East Front Street. And it is because of the city, downtown Plainfield, and many of these agencies on stage that I was not only able to open my business, but actually keep it open. And so, as you're thinking about how can I open a business in downtown Plainfield, or how can I take my business that is open and get more support, services, and funding to stay open, these are the different folks that you want to connect with and engage with to make that happen. And so in our lightning round for our agencies, we're going to have them talk a little bit about themselves and what they do, so that way you can either start your entrepreneurial journey or continue it. And so without further ado, we have our agencies, and O'Neill, I'm going to start with you.
Hello everyone, my name is O'Neill Valares, and I represent Greater Newark Enterprises Corporation, better known as GNEC. I say that because a lot of people ask me, you only do Newark? No, we do the whole state of New Jersey, so the Greater Newark Enterprise Corporation throughout the whole state. We are a CDFI, a nonprofit CDFI. CDFI means Community Development Financial Institution, and that is what we try to do, help the communities. Because of that, we are known for two things. First of all, a lot of flexibility, and everything is highly subsidized, which means that we can offer great rates, 5.99% fixed rate, no prepayment penalties, which is fantastic for business owners. And also there's a lot of flexibility in our underwriting. So that is very important, because a lot of times we're going for a loan, and we unfortunately don't qualify for whatever the reason may be. It could be because of credit, because the business is too new, whatever the case may be. A lot of flexibility there. I have information back there. I'll be happy to talk to everyone. I think you'll be happy with all the different panelists here, because we all offer a little niche. My niche is for $100,000 and down, a lot of flexibility, low rates. Thank you.
Well, hello, greetings everyone. Thanks for being here, and no, thank you. Sinead, appreciate it. So, I am with UCEDC, United Counties Economic Development Corporation, or as it started off, Union County Economic Development Corporation. My name is Joe Lamberti, and I am the director of our small business training team at UCEDC, and with me is a colleague, Tanisha. We've got a table there. Please come visit us and find some material for you. So, as you said, O'Neill, UCEDC is also a CDFI. Anybody remember his definition of that? Community Development Financial Institution. So we have a mission of assisting small businesses to start and grow and thrive, and as an economic development corporation, and you see our slogan there, resources for small businesses. That's really what we're all about, is really focused on the small business, like a lot of the small businesses here, and in particular, minority-owned businesses, businesses in areas that are revitalizing. This is our focus. This is our mission as a CDFI. The three main things that we provide as an economic development corporation throughout the state of New Jersey is small business lending, of course. We're a major SBA lender, and most of the volume of lending that we do is actually 50,000 and under. I think we're getting lower and lower. So that means that any small business that's got a smaller project, you know, you've opened up a shop and you've got to retrofit it, or it's got a small restaurant, you have to put in a new hood or something like that. I mean, we provide the kinds of loans that the small businesses, the salt of the earth kind of businesses, downtown sort of businesses really need. We provide much bigger loans as well as additional SBA products like the 7A loan, and the 504 loan gets us into the millions. But truly the greatest volume of loans that we do are what's called a microloan program. The second thing is our training and counseling services. So you can look on our website, ucedc.com, and find training workshops that are happening just about every day. We partner with many organizations, like-minded organizations throughout the whole state. We're nonprofit, so we do rely on funding from various sources. And you know, I see Banq, I see NJEDA, I see all these Rutgers, all these partners, of course, Plainfield and Kane University. We partnered with everybody to bring training and counseling to the small business owner, financial literacy and marketing workshops, and you name it. So go to ucedc.com and you'll find plenty of training opportunities there. And the final thing that we do in Union County, in particular, is our Apex Accelerator program, which some people may know as new as PTAC, a Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So for folks looking to do business with the government, we help in that vein as well. So come see us at the table. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, how's everybody doing today? Very good. First of all, my name is Parq. I'm Chief Strategy Officer at the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, and I'd like to tell Mayor Matt, as well as the Novi and the City of Plainfield, thank you very much for the opportunity to come here and tell you a little bit more about NJRA. Just really briefly, how many people in the room are familiar with the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority? Hands up. Opportunity. NJRA, we were started back in 1996. We're a multi-million-dollar financing authority that, in its inception, we were created specifically to be a catalyst for urban financial development in a lot of our traditional centers and municipalities that don't get financing. From a financing standpoint, we have 4 key basic loan programs that assist with site acquisition, assist with demolition. We'll send you our links so you can take a look at those a little bit more in detail. But in addition to the financing, our President and CEO, Leslie A. Anderson, who actually lives in the city of Plainfield, 10 years post our inception of 1996, we discovered there was an opportunity to assist. And when I'm going to say this, everyone who's a potential mayor, who is a planner, who is a person in the legal profession, really understand what is real estate and redevelopment. So when I was sitting over there, I heard the term tax abatements, I heard zoning, I heard special improvement districts. A lot of terminology that, and I'm gonna take a step back. Prior to joining NJRA about 10 years ago, I was that small business owner. Family business, we opened up child care centers. I wish I would have taken the time and the benefit to be a part of this conversation. Because as it was mentioned earlier, real estate and redevelopment is a key driver. We talk about this word called sustainability, we talk about economic viability, we talk about growth in the community. Real estate and redevelopment is a key driver for that. 10 years ago as a small business owner, I wasn't thinking about that. I had a finite amount of resources called i.e. dollars. I had leases. I think when I sat down at the end of the day and I looked at my operating budget, I had 30 different vendors I was paying. I was dealing with the state. I didn't make the time to come to expos and business expos like this to make that connectivity. I heard someone mention earlier about the networking. It is so critical. It's so important. So let me move you 10 years forward. I'm with the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. Specifically, I started working with, because I used to go to our workshops to figure out what's this real estate and redevelopment. It was a family business. I was trying to convince my parents, well, where should we open up our next center? I wasn't thinking about zoning. I wasn't thinking about what's our leader talking about in regards to economic viability. I wasn't thinking about these terms that we hear that we're talking about today. You as a small business owner, you need to know. You need to know what the community map is. You need to know what your leadership is doing. You need to know what is the plan for the community that I live in, because let me take a step back 10 years ago, I only had a finite amount of resources and time to invest in growing my business. And so as a small business owner, it's critical that you think very strategically about these finite resources. You're only going to learn about those if you come to these events and you reach out and you attend these meetings. So let me move it forward. NJRA, we do financing. 10 years post our inception, we opened up the Training Institute. At the Training Institute, you can learn about all of these terms that were spoke about today so that you're better informed about, as a small business owner, where should I put my money? If Patrick is putting up a building, is there a possibility that I could rent out the space? And how do I do that? What are the terms? So being here, I think, is probably the first step. I can say 10 years ago, I wish I would have done to really sustain our business that lasted for about 9.5, 10 years, but I had to close because some of the decisions of where we actually expanded really wasn't the best decision at the end of the day. So NJRA, we do finance, we have our training workshops that occur all throughout the year. We talk about all these terms. I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, there's a project in Plainfield that we're looking to have one of our workshops at, where you, the small business owner, can come for the day, for 4 hours, and learn about the decision making from a developer standpoint to actually build and construct and why they do this and how they work. So that's my story, and I thank you for the opportunity to be here.
How do I follow that, right? So first of all, thank you for having us. I'm part of the Small Business Development Center in New Jersey, and we provide expert no-cost consulting services to small businesses. So we usually see people that come to us because they have a business idea and they don't know how to start. They could be struggling with financial access to capital, they don't know how to write a business plan, they may be looking for technical assistance on how to apply for the NJDA grants. And we have the services that you may need to make sure that those resources start working for your businesses. So I'm gonna keep it like that because we do work with all the industries that you could imagine. Just last year, we started more than 650 businesses in the state of New Jersey. That was just through all the 11 centers that we have serving the businesses in the state. We are funded by the Small Business Administration as well as the New Jersey Business Action Center and many other private partners in the state. We work with many of the agencies that are here. We share the space with them. We send the referrals as well to them, just to making sure that the businesses that we serve, they not just starting, but they stay for the long run in the state of New Jersey, and they continue to contributing to the economic growth of the state.
Mic works. Oh, here we go. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle Osorio. I'm a senior small business liaison for the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Before today, just a quick show of hands, who here had heard of the EDA before? Okay, so a few of you. So for those of you who are not familiar with us, we are the state's principal agency for growing the economy. We are committed to providing equitable access to opportunity, job creation, and overall building a stronger and fairer economy for all of New Jersey. But in turn, what that means is we currently have about 80 plus programs supporting businesses across different industries and sectors. So my job within the state is to make sure that businesses like you are aware that the EDA exists and that we have resources that can support your business. We have programs for small businesses, we have loans. I have my colleague Rick here. Rich, raise your hand. He takes care of the financing side, but we have programs in innovation, technology, clean energy. We have the Commission on Science, Innovation, and Technology under us. We also have the Film Commission, right? So a lot of those films that are being filmed here in New Jersey, they get a tax incentive from us to come to New Jersey, right? Because that supports our economy. So Whether you're a small business, whether you're looking to start a business, we have programs in real estate as well, right? We have an entire real estate division. I know Director Fields spoke about the Aspire program, so we have, that's a big incentive on the real estate side. So we have a number of different programs. We have a table, we have flyers. I guarantee you there's something at EA for you, and if you need help navigating some of the state resources, a lot of the times when businesses come to me, they're like, I didn't even know EDA existed, right? So we want to encourage all of you to make sure you come to the state when you're starting a business, whether it's registering it or just need help navigating what type of funding is available to you. So,
thank you. So, out of curiosity, how many of you are currently small business owners? Just a quick raise. Okay. How many of you are aspiring entrepreneurs, have a dream in your heart and would like to open a business one day? Let's be honest. Open, hands up. Okay. So, a large part of the challenge that we find specifically when we're supporting entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs is how to get from seed, right? That dream, that passion that you have to an actual physical storefront. And there are so many different hurdles and challenges that are there. And without the proper help and support and financing, that dream becomes a very large struggle. As an example, with fromHERE, I mentioned that the reason that we were able to open our storefront and keep the lights on was because we took advantage of the city's UEZ sign and facade grant. We took advantage of the NJEDA lease incentive and big incentive for our lease sponsorship, as well as being able to build our interior and so on and so forth. And so what I would love to learn from each of you is specifically when you're thinking about small business owners, early entrepreneurs, what are one or two either programs or sources of support that you can point them to that they can start to engage you on immediately at a very early stage in their journey?
I'll start. So the first thing I encourage any of you to do is visit our website, so njeda.gov. You will find all the open programs we have there. But two, email us. So my role, like I said, I cover the entire New Jersey region. I cover 7 counties. Please email me. Say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm thinking about opening up a restaurant, or I've had this great opportunity to open up a second location, right? Come to us. I will kind of walk you through all the different programs you may be eligible for. We have a suite of small business grants. Like she mentioned, they are so incredible, and I can't tell you enough how many businesses don't take advantage of it. So post-COVID-19, a lot of the challenges we saw were a lot of vacancies in our downtown Main Street. So through the Main Street Recovery Finance Program, we were able to get grants, loans, and resources for lenders, right? So GNEC is a great example. They were able to get some money from us to do microloans for small business owners. So these programs have been open since 2021, right? We have a lease grant, which will give you 20% of your annual lease payment for the first and second year. We have the Small Business Improvement Grant. We will reimburse you 50% of any of the facade improvements, as well as the purchase of new furniture, fixtures, equipment. 50% up to $50,000. Okay? These are grants. You can stack them. If you qualify for all 3, you can apply for all 3, which is the best part. You don't have to pay them back. Most recently in 2023, we launched the e-commerce support grant. So how many of you have a website for your business or are looking to upgrade an existing website? We will pay one of our consultants to upgrade or create a website for you up to $11,000 in services. So that's a great opportunity for all of you, right? So when folks are coming to the city of Plainfield and they're looking for a coffee shop or Golden Crust or whatever they're looking for, you guys are online and they can find you. And again, you can qualify for, if you qualify for all 3 of them, you can apply for all 3 of them. There's no limit on that. So these are great programs that I really encourage all of you, whether you're in the room today or you know a business owner who's not here today, please share this information, because we've had over, I think, over $150 million distributed through these programs. It was a $200 million appropriation. We still have enough funding, and we want you guys to take advantage of them.
And And sorry, before I let anyone jump in, also because Plainfield is an opportunity zone, I believe we're also earmarked for, I think, was it 40% of that funding?
So there's 40% set aside for these programs, so this all goes to opportunity zones. So there's funding for you guys. We want you guys to take advantage of it.
Funding is real. True use case right here.
For us, so for us is, we highly encourage our clients to educate themselves because they can come with a business idea, but if they don't know how to start or what are the resources available, then it's likely that they will feel discouraged. So somebody that have access to the SBBC can look at our website and see the variety of workshops that we provide. Many of them are no cost. We can also give them access and educate them on some of the resources that are available in their community, which they are trying to establish their businesses. And again, it's a great place to start. It's a great place to find out what are the opportunities in the town if you don't have the information in your hands.
I would definitely say, just to piggyback on that, we don't have a specific small business program set up, but I, once again, think in terms of being a small business owner at the end of the day. There's a lot of information going on around you within the municipality you live in. Attend some of the municipal meetings. I would definitely say, if you haven't joined the trade unions at the end of the day, probably, I'm assuming everybody here probably knows that most banks have a legal obligation to offer what they call CRA money that goes toward helping small business lenders in the community. You're supposed to give back. Contact your local business owner. So, one of the things that I did is I created a top 10 list of everybody that I needed to get to know, and I went to where they were, which is actually how I ended up working in JRA. I followed the people that I needed to get to know to where they were. And in this day and age, the information is pretty accessible out there at the end of the day. So start with your local municipality. Set up a meeting, come to the planning board meetings, get to know the people that you vote for, get to know the leadership. But once again, it's a two-way sort of sided coin. You've got to take the initiative, because initiative is not going to come to you if you're trying to do something different. And it's tough, I know, as a small business owner, you're working from, I used to say I work 8 days a week. But I wish I would carve out one of those days to do some of the things that we're talking about today.
Yeah, I would like to add that when you're a new business, it's obviously the most challenging time. Sometimes getting access to capital is not so easy. It would be great if we can go directly to the institution, like Banq, for instance, who has a lot of programs. That would be my first bet. The banks, if you need a line of credit and so forth, those are fantastic programs for certain needs. But unfortunately, if you're newer in business, that's not going to happen all the time. They have their own restrictions and so forth, and that's where a lot of us here come in. We try to work hand in hand. We try to be a bridge. When you're first starting out, it's a little tough. What you want to do is do a little research, like everybody's mentioned here. These are great events because you get to find out from a lot of different people and a lot of different programs. Make sure you understand what each company's criteria is. That would help you tremendously, because we all have different underwriting guidelines, we all have different programs and so forth. And by you knowing, getting an idea of what each company can do, that can save you a lot of time. Also, please try to have everything organized as much as possible early on. It's going to save you a lot of time. If you're going to put an application, they're going to ask you for tax returns, they're going to ask you for bank statements, they're going to ask you for the paperwork of your company when you form the LLC or the S Corp or the C Corp, whatever it may be. Have those things digitalized, have those things ready, because then when you get to the application, it's like boom, 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 everything goes in and it's really quick. Otherwise, you're going to be scrambling around for a long time. Communication is also key. Please be open with the institution, whoever it is that you're applying. We're going to find out. Okay, that's our job. We have underwriters, and they will try to see what the situation is. Be upfront, because there's always solutions if you're upfront, and we understand what the situation is. We're looking to say, yes, we want to help. We got this money. We gotta put it out to the street. Be open with us. Let us know what your situation is, and we'll work with you. A lot of times we go back and forth. We can't do something, we send them over to one of our sister companies here, and we all work together, we all have the same goal. We're trying to help the communities, we're trying to help the small business owners.
Yeah, and finally, all of that is great advice, and some additional advice that I would give to, I think the question was, whether you're in business or aspiring businesses, sure. That is our sweet spot at UCEDC. Our mission is, is to help small businesses to get started and grow and thrive. So most of the people that we talk to are early stage businesses. Anywhere from a pure startup to a few years in business, and maybe at that critical juncture of, am I going to make it? Do I need something? Do I change something? So seek the counseling that's available to you, because there's plenty of it available to you. And, lots of times we don't know what we don't know, right? You've heard that phrase before. Well, for those of you that showed up today, you small business people, now you know something that you didn't know, perhaps. And that's the fact that all of these resources are available to you for free. Actually, it's not for free. Somebody at NJ Banq always reminds us that, hey, if you pay your taxes, you prepaid these services, so take advantage of it. So you've got people ready, willing, and able to help you. Small Business Development Center, CDFIs, UCEDC is focused on lots of training opportunities. You can look up on our website and find a training workshop happening just about every day. So take advantage of that. Small Business Development Centers, we'll give you counseling on demand. Come with an open mind. You don't have to go it alone. Lots of small businesses feel sort of isolated, but you know where the help is now. So take advantage of it. Utilize it. Thanks.
If you're trying to open up a business and you're new to it, go talk to someone who's actually doing the business at the end of the day. You'll be amazed at the time. First of all, people love to talk about what they love. And if you're in small business, you're an entrepreneur, you're very passionate about what you do every day, you're more than willing to take a minute or two to share, and you'll find that most likely in some of your competitors. Hey, can I stop by? And I've got a couple questions. How did you open up a business there? This is my dream location. The city of Plainfield is where I've always wanted to open up my donut shop. How did you do that? You'll be amazed at how simple that is and how giving and caring people are willing to share how they did what they did and how they're continuing to do, because it's hard work at the end of the day.
It is. And, I think the biggest takeaway here is that you're not alone as a business owner. You can't figure out everything if you don't know where to start. And between the free consulting, the free training programs, all the grants, the loans, you can literally stack one or two things from every one of these agencies and suddenly have the financial runway as well as the knowledge and the support to get from A to B to C wherever you are in your small business journey. So I highly, highly recommend taking advantage of it. And we're personally partnering right now with the UCEDC. So on April 16th, we're giving away $500 forgivable loans for any small business owners that are interested in opening up a business in downtown Plainfield. You attend the session, get some information, and be eligible for $500. And so it's small things like that that can allow people to just get one step closer to their dream. So all of these agencies, they have tables. Hopefully we'll have breakout sessions later. Ask questions, get their contact information. And then between the city, from here, and downtown Plainfield, we're also dedicated to bringing these agencies here to you for workshops, events, and programming so you can continue to learn and be educated. Before I close off the session, are there any questions from the audience? Yes.
Just one question. Most of the businesses in your portfolio that you're talking about, are they profit or are any of them non-profits? So do you support non-profit? For profit or non-profit?
I'll speak for GNEC. Most of them are for profit, but we have financed nonprofits also. It's a little different, the qualifications of what we request, but we can do nonprofits. In today's day and age, as we all know that there's a lot of changes going on. And so we have to pay particular attention of who the donors are for the nonprofits, because if they were very dependent on government subsidies for it, that could create an issue going forward. So again, it's an underwriting thing. We gotta use some common sense depending on what the situation is. All the lenders, when we lend out money, we just want to be as sure as possible. Nothing's guaranteed, but as sure as possible that we're gonna get our money back. So we gotta see what the situation is, see what the numbers show, see what the potential is, and if we feel comfortable, okay, we're probably gonna get that money back. Okay, you're approved.
Yeah, I can tell you same answer from UCEDC regarding the lending. But anyone, whatever your business is eligible for the free training, counseling services.
At the SBDC, we assist nonprofit when they're at the initial stages. For instance, you can come in seeking for the registration, we help you set that.
So our small business grants are open to for-profit and nonprofit businesses. We have loan programs at EDA, so our traditional lending we can support a nonprofit as well. So we definitely can work with you.
One last question from the audience? Yes.
Just wait for the
Hi, so for one, I'm not a business owner, I'm actually a student, and I was wondering, because I do not know much about business and getting grants for business, what would you say is the qualifications to get some of these grants and loans? I know that for me, when I was trying to get grants and loans for getting into college and studying, as far I'm not still studying, there were certain criteria that I didn't meet because of, for example, my family's income or the area that I lived in, and because of those situations, I'm not able to qualify for a lot of these grants. What would you say is like an average qualification to get like a business grant or loan?
I just turned it. Okay, so for the grant side for us, so the best thing about our grants is that you can be in business 3 months or you could have been in business 30 years. So there's no specific qualifications on that. They're non-competitive grants, meaning you're not competing for these funds. There's no grant writing involved, right? So these are very technical grants for specific uses. But for the most part, it's pretty simple. It's an online application, like if you were filling out like a job application online. It's uploading documents, filling in basic information you should already have about your business. But for the grant side, it's pretty straightforward. There's no real, you don't necessarily have to have any profits, really. I mean, we get new businesses all the time who just registered 6 months ago and now they're opening up a restaurant, right? You don't have any taxes, that's okay. We're willing to work with you guys, so.
Yeah, it's a little different when it's a grant as opposed to a loan. In a grant, the money's given to you, you don't have to pay it back. So there's no expectation that you're going to be able to pay back. They want you to, by the way, but they don't qualify you in the same way. When it comes to a loan, they will do a qualification. The underwriters will. Normally, and I would say almost all the time, credit is going to be an issue. They want to see what your credit looks like, your FICO scores. Every institution is going to have different criteria. But the most important thing is that if there is a late or lates, what was the reason? Does it make sense? Is it something that's in the past? Is it something that doesn't look like you're still in the situation? What lenders don't want to do is they don't want to be the bailout and then all of a sudden they get stuck because the payments don't come. So the lenders want to lend money, whether they're CDFIs or banks or so forth. We want to lend the money, but we want to try to make sure that the money's going to come back to us. They're also going to qualify you on what we call capacity. And that is, does the client have the capacity to be able to pay back the loan? They use oftentimes the global debt service ratio. I don't want to get too technical, but basically they want to make sure that enough money coming in that is going to be able to pay all your personal stuff, your car payment, credit cards, and so forth. And in addition to that, the new loan that we are now giving you. Now, they use different ratios. Here's where I think GNEC is very flexible. We use a 1.0% debt service coverage ratio. And what that basically means is if $5,000 are going out, we just need to see $5,000 coming in. Normally, if $5,000 going out, they want to see 6,000, more money coming in just to have that little buffer. We do a 1 ratio, so that's very, very flexible. But again, different scenarios. Always, by the way, and I don't think I have to say this, I think everybody knows, but I'll say it anyway. Always go for the grant first. You can get a grant, much better than a loan. But that's what we're here for, just in case if it doesn't fit one of those criteria that Michelle has, then you can come to the rest of us here and we'll try to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Any loan, I think this just a loan. Oh, okay. Yes, exactly. And anytime you're talking about a loan for any small business, of course, the lender is going to look at credit, is going to look at tax returns, is going to look at, Nonel touched on one of the C's, those 5 C's that a lender will look at. And what you can do to learn a little bit more about being prepared to go see a lender is there's a workshop under UC-EDC called the Your Credit You. Another workshop which is the basics of financing your business. So that can educate you, give you some background on, okay, how do I prepare myself and what is a lender specifically going to look for and am I ready for that? Also, if you go to ucedc.com, there is a drop down under lending for a pre-qualification application, and a loan officer will get in touch with you and let you know where you're at. Hope that helps.
I'm going to put on my small business hat, and I'm going to say a few words to you. It's going to be very tedious, and I'm sure our entrepreneurs in here probably have had the experience. You really need to sit down and put together a business plan, because a business plan will take you through the mental exercises of figuring out what you need to learn and what you need to know. Because when you approach banks, when you approach lenders, when you approach the community, you need to be able to articulate why you're here, what you're trying to do, and it was this thing that we talk about all the time in my world. It's called risk. You take the risk away by really having a clarity about what you're trying to do. So part of the business plan, as you probably know, talks about the financial statement, talks about who's your team, talks about can you articulate your business and your vision at the end of the day. So I would definitely highly encourage you to take a look at it. There's a lot of courses I know online that could walk you through putting together, just very high level. It doesn't need to be a 30-page summary of everything you're looking to do. Just a 10-page, 15-page kind of start. Because the business plan becomes your living document, so that when you sit down and talk to your banker and you're having that conversation, as part of the loan, you can submit that as well, because they're most likely going to ask you, oh, could you share your business plan with me?
And if you have your business plan, there's no grants opportunity or loans that you can apply for, then you can come to us, because there's a list of private institutions that they have funds available for women-owned businesses. And we can also navigate the aspect of building credit if that's also an issue.
Thank you.
I was just going to add one more thing. Oscar reminded me, thank you, I should have said this earlier. Guess what one of our most popular workshops is? Writing a business plan. Yeah, exactly. You've got to be able to articulate what the business can do, what it can't do, what it is about, what it isn't about, and we were just talking about this earlier, that when a business plan is done right, it will reveal to you how much money you need, for what purpose, and then you're in a better position to seek it out. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just want to add something. You said how much money you need. That is important. And I'm going to get a little bit off the topic, but when you apply, please know the amount that you need and what specifically you need it for. It would be incredible if I tell you the amount of people that I asked, how much money are you looking for? And their answer to me is, well, how much can you give me? You know, what is your maximum loan? Oh boy, a business plan. Have it written out.
And the last comment I'll add to that before we wrap up is what I see when business owners successfully do receive the money is all of a sudden they forget their business plan and they start utilizing that capital in the wrong way. Whether it's paying off debts or investing in things that don't make sense, and all of a sudden that $50,000 went away in a blink and it didn't move your business forward. Right? So coming back to that business plan, that's your North Star. And going back to each of these agencies for the help and the support, refining your business plan. If you realize when you opened, well, I did something wrong and now I need to pivot. But constantly coming back to that business plan, revisiting it, iterating on it, will ensure that the capital that you have can go from 50 to 500,000 and actually create the success that you need. So first, just a big round of applause for all of our agencies here on stage. And again, I highly recommend that you visit their businesses. And then without further ado, we're going to go into our next session. Thank you.
I want to thank the City of Plainfield, Director Zenobia Field, Economic Development, and Snee fromHERE for helping put on this show today. Today we have Arturo and Michelle here from small businesses within the district. We'd like to start off by introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about your business and how long you've been here.
My name is Arturo Marcovi. I am a business owner and property owner in Plainfield. I started in 2008. I want to start to say thank you to Zenobia, thank you to the new administration, because at the time I started, we don't have the resources I have right now. I guess I have a lot of resources right now, so I can see everybody talking about money, but it's very important to have a plan to open a business. I'm glad to have Expo. They can you can ask all the questions and guide you to open a business, to have a small business is a lot of challenges. And Plainfield right now is have a big transformation, and I think it's a lot of opportunities in the city of Plainfield. So if you have any questions, we're going to start.
Hi, my name is Michelle Boone. I'm the owner of Michelle's Lux Grading Lounge, and I'm also a developer in the state. I build affordable housing and 3 to 1 single families.
Very nice. Of all the places in the world, why Plainfield? Why'd you choose Plainfield to bring your business and make this your home for your business?
For me, when I started in 2008, Plainfield was different than it's Plainfield today, but I can see big opportunities. I start with one small bakery, and right now I have 2 restaurants. I have 42 employees, so for me it was to choose Plainfield was for me a good opportunities, and I can see a lot of people they can start right now to open a business with all the resources we have.
So, just take a step back. Can you tell us the name of your businesses?
I have Pre-Basket Bakery, Family Barbecue, and Family Restaurant and Buffet.
And how long have you been here in Plainfield? How long have you been here? ¿Cuánto tiempo está acá?
Okay, we moved to Plainfield in 1995, but I started a business in 2008.
Okay. And why'd you open up your business here? What made you want to open up in Plainfield?
Because I see the diversity of people we have is in Plainfield. We can find different kinds of food. When I start, I bought the place for Dunkin' Donuts, and to change, I was seeing, the Spanish community was big, and see how can I change to a product for Spanish people to have, like for everybody. It's not for one community, for everybody. Okay, was a big challenge for me. Okay, but right now I can see we passed the challenges, and I think I have a great product in the city of Plainfield.
Thank you. Michelle, what made you want to open up here in Plainfield?
Okay, so I'm a resident of Plainfield, 20 years. So the house, the development that my salon is in, I actually built the building. So it started, my general contracting business started in 2014, which I started it out my home. Because most businesses, when you start, you don't have money for an office space. So my general contracting business started in 2014. So back and forth, I'm also a union pipe fitter, 22 years. That's what got my start in construction. But how I came past this development that my salon is in, every morning I would drive to work and I would say, I'm gonna buy that house. It's an eyesore for my community. I would drive past every morning. 2 years later, I seen people standing in front of the house and I said, you guys selling that house? And they said, yeah, we are. And I bought it. It was a single family house. The trees was covering, it was overgrown. It was down the block from where I live at. And I started my development. I took it all the way down to the foundation and I rebuilt it. And I took a one family and turned it into a 3-unit. So after the building was complete, the first floor stayed vacant because after COVID, a lot of the commercial properties are vacant because a lot of people work from home now. And I said, well, let me think of something I can do with my commercial property, And I thought of a braiding salon, It's a safe place for us women to get our hair done, and it's thriving. So that's what started my braiding salon. But my ultimate business is development. But yeah, so that's how I'm in Plainfield. I live here, I'm a resident, and I do need to say this. I've done developments in the state of New Jersey, Newark, Broadway, at East Orange. Plainfield is the best when it comes to getting my permits done, my applications finished. It's like when you go to the other city municipalities, I hope I ain't stepping on nobody's toes, but I just want to say,
you're on the right path there.
Right, I just want to say doing development in Plainfield is very helpful. It's very rewarding.
It looks like nature is applauding you back there. So actually that brings us to my next question. How exactly did you find doing business in Plainfield? How did it help you achieve your goals of building that business, development, and then moving your secondary business in? What did you find was the most helpful?
the support of the city. You know, when I opened my salon, I was invited to the State of the Union. That was very rewarding for my children to see and young people to see. Somebody that looks like them in the place that I am, and my kids, their friends like, oh my God, your mother's a general contractor. Your mother is a salon owner. That they need to see that in our community. That if I can do it, they can do it. You know, I've been on a panel before. And I was introduced to a bunch of kids that want to work, and I took applications, and they called me, they stay in contact with me, and I love the city of Plainfield to work with.
Right, John, what have you found to be the most helpful aspect of doing business here in Plainfield?
Okay, for me, I think the family was very important to me. So I grew up with kids in Plainfield, and I see the big opportunity with the family. All the business I have, all my family is involved into the business, and I think right now the biggest thing is grow up, be educated, Plainfield, and for people who doesn't have business, it's very important, okay, to have the vision what they have. And I see Plainfield, like big opportunities for the family, and that's why we stay here.
So community, it definitely is a great community, and I can tell you as a person that's not necessarily in the city, but helping the businesses, that the city is a fantastic partner for those who are looking to put businesses here in Plainfield and do business here in Plainfield. What advice would you give to aspiring business owners, entrepreneurs here in the city of Plainfield, looking to put a business here in our community?
I would say definitely tap into the resources, economic development, NJRA, NJEDA. I got multiple grants with New Jersey EDA to help buy my salon stations. I have an appointment with NJRA next week with a lot that I'm developing in another town. So the tap into the resources that the community. I also spoke to. I have a loan out with Greater Newark Enterprise and also NJEDA. So those resources help me maybe buy sheetrock and pay it back. Those resources help me do my pre-development and pay it back. Those resources help me buy salon stations and chairs, and I also was able to get a grant from Plainfield for the facade. So I tap into everything that I can tap into, and that's what you could do to start your company, is to tap into the resources that you're given. That grant money you don't have to pay back, and I needed it. I needed it to help pay my workers, put the sign up, do some of the things that make my business look beautiful.
Absolutely.
I think same thing, use the resources. It's a lot of resources right now. When I start, I didn't have the resources right now. Yeah, we have right now. So I can see money is everywhere. At that time, nobody told me, when I started business, nobody told me, I have resources about the economy. The bank was very tough to get a loan from the bank at the time. And right now, you can see it's lot of people here. Everybody have money. So, and then I have able, okay? He can guide you to open a business. So I think it's open doors. Open doors if, you know, because all the resources we have, I think it's easy to start a business.
Thank you. Where do you guys see Plainfield in the next 5 years as far as doing business here?
I would like to thank for the emerging developers. The doors are open for us to develop. You know, like I asked the question before about affordable housing. I like the idea. It's extensive, but it's needed. It is needed in every town, in every city. The housing is really going up, and it's like no stop to it. So we need these houses or the affordable housing to help us. Plainfield, looking at the mayor map 360 program. Listen, I can't wait until the new developments come. I can't wait till the rooftop restaurants. I can't wait until see Deltas. That's one of my favorite restaurants. Come here. So all of the new developments is going to bring more money to Plainfield. It's going to bring more money. The nightlife, like the young lady was saying, instead of us driving, I don't go much out at night anymore, but it'll be good for the residents of Plainfield. We can just be here, eat, live, and work here, and play.
I think for me, in 5 years, if we continue with the transformation we have right now, I think in 5 years, Plainfield is going to have more business. The community is big. The safety compared to the 10 years ago is a lot of change. So I think if we continue with the same road we have right now with the new administration, in 5 years we're going to have a very nice community.
I think we have a nice community now.
Yes, no, I couldn't agree more. I see a very bright future due to the mayor's vision, Director Zenobia's execution of that vision. You see the pieces coming together, and you see the money coming together. That is such a difficult thing to do. And many communities try it all over the state. Some are very successful, some of them not so much. I see Plainfield's plan and vision and the execution of it being such an integral part to the vitality of this community. It has a very, very bright future. If for all the aspiring new entrepreneurs here, what is one thing you wish somebody would have told you when you first opened up your business, first built your first house here? What would you tell them? Well, what do you wish somebody had told you?
Well, it might not be easy. Just keep going, and then you'll plateau eventually. Just keep going. Just keep going.
The first thing that I can advise is to be educated, informed before they do moving pieces. Be informed.
That's it. Well, I think we are at the end of our question portion. Are there any questions from the audience? He's got a microphone right behind you.
We're doing this again. I am a little curious how your businesses were able to go through COVID, because I know at least for braiding hair, I don't know much about Banq is known for braiding hair, a lot of it is reliant on the customer coming into the facility or something along those lines. How did you manage to work past COVID and the lockdown and not being able to have that traffic into your businesses?
So my salon opened after COVID, but my general contracting business, everything was shut down. So if you don't work, you don't get paid. If you don't work, you don't have no bills, you know. So I was able to sustain COVID.
Okay, for me it was a big challenge because all of my employees left, and it's only me and my father and my mom. We working for like 1 month, and then it start, you know, like calling the employees one by one to see, you know, to have a team. But it was a big challenge. You know, in that time, I have to do everything. You know, I do cake, bread, wash dishes, everything at the same time.
And from the perspective of the city and the Special Improvement District downtown Plainfield, there were grants that were handed out to the various businesses here with additional support throughout the process. It was a very fluid situation, sometimes changing day to day, week to week. So it was, and you can see the resilience in the community here. There are over 300 businesses just in the downtown alone, almost 4 throughout the whole city, with the city's support and the various agencies, in fact, that are here. Many communities were able to thrive during that time, not even survive. Some of these businesses thrived during this time because of the resources that were available to them through the various partnerships of the city, the CID, and the various folks that are sitting here today.
I don't know if we answered the questions, but you know, at that time everybody was hit, you know, to a pandemic, and in those situations we have to see, we have to figure it out what new things you can do and support. You know.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You mentioned family. How centric is family to your business?
Difficult situation. When you start, long story short, okay? My kids, I grow up my kids into the business. My first daughter, I keep into the business. So when you start, it's a challenge, right? Because you have a family and the business together, you don't have a time for the family. But then when you grow, you know, you start, you know, like babysitting and growing and growing. So right now, I'm focusing to the family. Business is important, but it's going to be on the side.
My daughter is my property manager. I need to teach her. How to maintain the properties that I've developed. My son is my project manager, / delivery guy, / filling for this guy that didn't show up today. He's my right hand. So they help. They might not want to help all the time, but they do. They know it's important to keep our family business growing.
For me, my daughter, she don't want to go into the business, but because a lot of challenges I have, she want to be an attorney. So I say, okay, I want to be an attorney because I want to support you when you are big.
Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you guys. Rodora, Michelle, thank you so much for participating in our small business panel. I want to thank the city, Director Zenobia Fields for putting this whole thing together. Sneh Kadakas, thank you so much for assisting in the participation of this event. I want to thank all our vendors, all the various agencies that came out today to help support Plainfield and its business community, and everybody for coming here to listen and hear a little bit about where Plainfield is and its trajectory to greatness. We want to thank everybody. Thank you again.
I like to thank you too.
If you want to have separate conversations, we do have other breakout rooms on the second floor. The stairs are identified, you can make connections there, but this time is meant for networking and coming up with ways to continue transforming Plainfield. So thank you all for your time. We definitely appreciate you being here.
Abel Gomez here, Executive Director of Downtown Plainfield. I want to thank all our vendors and economic development for helping put this amazing show together today. It had a lot of great vendors, a lot of agencies here trying to bring resources, and everybody that participated today. We really want to thank them. We really want to thank the city for putting this entire expo together. And we look forward to engaging with everybody further. Thank you again.